Hi, hello, welcome to another episode of the Underworld campaign set in the Corsanti criminal, Underworld, haha, already going off strong with the puns. Today's episode, once I turn on all the things, is going to be interesting because last episode we went through this shift, and my character. Hold on, apologies. I need to stop pressing the mouse wheel. My character, Mr. Ganch, this gentleman, was tasked with going to Assis junkyard in Vashek's Rest to rescue a courier with his guns, as per the contract lead that he got for saving one of the Rhodians in the no man's land. However, the funny thing was that the events card that we drew for the shift was this, and the extra special loot cache with more stuff also happened to be the same point of interest, the same node that I am supposed to go to get my stuff. So what happened at the end of the last episode is that basically everybody on the map is now racing towards Assis junkyard to raid this amazing cache of loot, including myself. And when I was setting the raid up off screen, I had the most will of the force has to be roll on the modifier, because I got the allied reinforcements, and allied in the sense that they're not hostile to me, but they're hostile to the rats, because keep in mind there's two whole teams of rats, because this is their turf, racing for this loot, and then there's a team of a couple of Black Star units and a team of a couple more Rhodians. We will see later that this is a Rhodian hunter and their pet, their animal companion. So what I decided was that the allied reinforcements are the Black Stars and the Rhodians, who are rushing in from turn 2. They will come in piecemeal, and they're going to rush in on the one hand to take the loot, and on the other hand, because they are hostile to the rats as well as each other, but not me. And for those of you who have followed since the beginning, I am on contract with Black Star for this, and I rescued one of the Rhodians. So I decided that they're not going to shoot me first. They're going to run out of rats, and then they're going to maybe shoot me. So this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4-sided affair. And this might actually be multiple videos, because it is going to be extremely long, I'm afraid, and a stress test of what the system can do. So before I kick the proceedings, I'm going to go through a quick overview of the raid, of the map. I have pre-deployed some of the rats. This is 2 teams, so this is one team made by a boss, 2 scavers, and a repaired B1 droid, because keep in mind, as I said last time, I follow the 2003 Battle of Coruscant animation cartoon in which separatist droids did set foot on Coruscant. These are their pieces of equipment. Let me enclosen these a bit. The Scav boss is noteworthy because he has he can issue orders by virtue of being the boss. And then the other team of rats is 3 scavers and another refurbished B1. And this is their stuff. These are 8 units in total. 4 here and then 4 to the right. Because there is a hard limit of 6 units on the field per faction, and these 2 teams belong to the same faction, I'm going to deploy 4 of the rats here, 2 of the rats here for a total of 6, and then keep 2 rats in reserve to send in once some of the pop cap is made free. And then Mr. Ganch will deploy in a second, and then these 4 units will deploy from turn 2 onwards. If you remember episode 2, I believe it will be listed as episode 2, these are the 2 black stars that we ran through the first raid of the campaign on episode 2. And I like to think that this tamer here is the rodent that we rescued last episode. Now, the map is, I will get to this in a second. As you can tell, there's a general infill point, normal, no special rule, which also doubles as the exit, because if something can enter, it can also leave. And then I have a quote-unquote special exit and infill icon words, which effectively allows only a limited amount of units through at any given time. And then the other exit is an exit that we saw last raid, and I think it was very, very, very fitting, which is the ferryman. And to use this exit, you don't need any actions. However, you do need one of these, which is exactly the 500 credits that I got from cashing in on Clan Arita reputation last shift. Now, so 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be joining us later. We have a bunch of loot caches. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there should be, that should be them. But we also have the courier, the poor courier that I was supposed to rescue, who was captured by the rats, and these are his guns. This looks like a crate. Don't worry, it's supposed to look more like a very long briefcase. I couldn't find a model that fitted with the briefing. And then last but not least, the red blocks are locked doors and the blue blocks are open doors. Ooh, and also outside, because this is a junkyard, and technically Aziz, who is the owner of the junkyard, is not on the field because she does not want to deal with firefights. Honestly fair. We have 2 piles of junk which can be salvaged, and each time they're salvaged I take one of these D6s down by 1, so this is 1 and this is the other. And then we have a wonk droid, which is a gonk droid, but the model, I don't know if I can, it shows it's got wonky foots, and so it is a wonk droid. And if used, it allows to replicate the effects of a coolant can, which is, let me find it. one of these allows to negate the heat die on blasters. Worthy of note is the Scaffer boss, because he has the first instance of a weapon that isn't a blaster, but instead is a kinetic gun. It shoots bullets instead of bolts, and by virtue of having the gruesome tag, this could be exceedingly painful, because instead of rolling critical wounds at the end of the raid, you roll them immediately. And whenever a unit runs out of resilience during a raid, they're dead, much like they would be if they ran out of resilience outside of the raid. So today I'm going to do something slightly different. I need my almighty turn counter. I'm going to say that the rats deployed first because this is their turf, but I am going to activate first because I am attacking the place. Now this is going to be 14 units total, so I'm afraid I'll have to use this to count my activations. Smidge bigger, thank you. As usual, the edge of the map is about this, like this line. And with that, I'm going to deploy Mr. Ganch, and then we shall see what happens. So, Mr. Ganch, I want to stay as far away as possible from the boss, because he is very painful, and he hits on fives like I do, and suffering an arms wound while using a 200 weapon is going to be a massive pain. And also that gentleman is very heavily armored, because it's got arms armor and legs armor with 4 pips each. He does not have a hat though. Oh, that could be interesting. So instead, I'm going to take Mr. Ganch. I'm going to deploy Mr. Ganch as far away as possible. This is incredibly sketch. I forgot to move between floors, because if you can see, this is technically suspended in nothing, but it is the first floor. I need to go here and then take an action and be quote-unquote teleported up here. So my baseline plan would be to run here, open the door, grab the case, leave the courier to his destiny, I don't care about him, and then go up here, drop the briefcase, and then take cover behind this thing, because it's not been relevant yet, but cover makes me harder to hit. If imposes disadvantage, i.e. roll twice, pick worst. However, I was reminded by my own sleepless self that I do still have one use of IFF spoof, and that means that I don't necessarily have to use it now, but I can do it later. So instead, Mr. Ganch needs his measure movements, so he needs hold on, wait, you have 4 speed, right? You're speed 4, so you need 2 actions to move here. You need 1 action to open this door. Apologies for the continuous stuff. And then the rest of the movement granted by the first action, you're going to move inside here and take cover. I'm going to consider these yellow, orange segments as line of sight blockers. Because I like to, in my opinion, they are like shutters, effectively, or doors. And then those were my 3 actions. That was my first activation. It is back to the rats. It is back to the rats, who are going to activate the first droid, which is going to be measure movement. Droids are very small, slow. They have 3 speed. These are B1s, so they have guns. So droid is going to, apologies, advance. I'm going to say both 2 actions, and then it is it cannot see inside because there's a wall in here. So instead it is going to basically back up, and then as its 3rd action go here, so that on next activation, next turn, it's gonna have a shot on my cheeks. Then it's back to me. Then it's back to me. Now droids have hard to kill, I need to remember, which means it's 3 shots to the chest, or 2 shots to the face, because they have 1 ablative, 1 point of armor to the face, and a headshot on a droid would mean insta-kill, because headshots immediately inflict a critical wound. Do I want to do this? Kinda, yes. Even loot-wise, I would rather get access to the scavers, because scavers have backpacks and I can loot those, because I could use one of those since I dropped mine, and mine was never a carry backpack, but a radio backpack. However, if I took the briefcase and ran, because I have a 2-handed weapon, I could take the briefcase, but I would not be able to use my 2-handed weapon, my DC-15S, because carrying both items means no fighty. I would be down to melee, and Nox melee is, as you can tell, pretty awful. He is not a good combat. He's not a good slapper of people. So instead, I'm going to turn. Do I get on outside? Yes, I do. This is very much within 6. So I'm going to shoot, take a headshot at +2 -1. So that is a 6+. Ooh, that's a 50-50 actually. That's not bad. That's a miss. No overheat. I'm gonna do that again. That's a hit, but that's an overheat. Ooh. Oh, this is unfortunate. Oh, this is unfortunate. So my weapon is overheated. This is very unfortunate. That was my 2nd action. I'm going to use my 3rd action to negate that. Vent the heat, I think. Let me see if I have a token for the overheat. I think... Okay, I think we have one of these. It doesn't look very fiery, but it's the best I could find. So that was my 2nd activation. And then it is going to be their turn. Now, I think Lukash, they want to go here, because this is 2, 3, 5 loot cards. So instead, I am going to 3 and 5, meaning they are from this team. Scav 5 has a scav pack, and scav 3. Oh yeah, it has a bayonet and a smoke grenade. Right. So I think I'm going to activate scav 5, who is going to take a. Again, I need to copy paste them. It is going to take a movement to go here. It's going to take an action to open one of these, this door, and then let me see. Are you within 1? Yeah, you are within 1. Let's go with that. It is going to take an action. You are not within 1. I'll give it this one. Sure, you can do that. It is going to take an action to look at the. Oh, you're empty because I need to draw them. At the loot cache. Let's shuffle and see what happens. No. Deleting parts. You can go here. And scrap metal. There you go. Okay. So we have DL18 parts and scrap metal, and now it's back to me. My gun is back. I'm going to take another shot. The ablated wound on who are you? You B1A to the head. What happened? I heard stuff happening. I heard business. Oh, that's what happened. Oops. I am going to take another headshot. I'd rather not aim with my sight. That's exactly what I needed, and this would be a head wound. However, because headshots automatically inflict a critical wound, which means Mr. Droid is wrecked. That is one less action, one less activation for the enemy, and also one less activation for B. However, on its own activation, the quote-unquote rats player would be able to now call one of these. That was my first action. My second action is to... Are you within 1? Oh, you are within 1! I'm going to cheese a smidge. Second action is going to be to grab the case. And then third action is going to be running like a... possibly a bit more of a maniac. So 3 to run from here, and then 4 to run from here in cover. Back to the rats, who are going to activate. What am I talking about? These gentlemen, who are going to help themselves to the... Wait. Tal. Come on. There you go. Are going to help themselves on exactly the door threshold, and then they're going to check this one. Okay. DC-15S parts and coolant. Ooh. DC-15... I already have one of those. Let me check. I do. Oh, that could be 1,000 credits worth of stuff. That could be interesting. That was the second action. Checking the box, and then as its third action, Scaver 3 does not... I mean, they still have the two the 2 accessory slots. Actually, yes, I think Scav 2 is going to take both these items because they have the Pilfer ability that allows them to move 2 items per action instead of 1, and that's their activation done. On the next turn, my plan for this rat is to just book it because the exit is here and they are full. So there's not really much that it makes sense for them to do. I am going to take a move. That's 2 moves. You know what? That was 2 actions. Third action is to move here. And I'm not going to leave. I am going to leave the puffball, but I'm not going to leave because I think there's lootage to be done. And that was my third activation. Here, I think to free the space, the Scav boss is going to activate and it is going to yell. Oh, he does not have move. Haha. He does not have move him. So he's not going to yell nothing. He's instead going to move his many actions to the door. It's going to be 8, 9. Let's go with 10. Leave him 12. Leave him 2. Because I believe he's got. Oh, he's got 5, so he can move up to 15. Aha. Bonk, and then bonk, and that's his turn. My turn is going to be to drop the briefcase as a free action, because you just go blap. Ooh. Oh, Nock doesn't know that there's a Scav boss downstairs. Oh, he probably heard the, because the difference in height here is very tall for gameplay purposes, but for realism, for lore purposes, it is a much shorter ceiling. So probably he heard the stomping of much heavier boots, and I believe that allows Mr. Ganch to assume. Just out of curiosity, that's 7. A range of 7. I think Nock is going to do something different. Nock is going to spend his last 2 points from the comms pool. So he needs a combination of 3, so that's a 4 minus 1, even though TTS correctfully says no, it's 5, it's not 3, but I will say it is 3. This is going to be removed. He's going to use IFF spoof. He's going to turn on the to face the door, the ladder, and he is going to take over the one droid that is left, who is going to shoot at 6 plus. Ooh, Scav 5. No, I think it is going to shoot at Scav. Ooh, no. It is going to do something slightly different. It is going to shoot at Scav 3's legs to inflict a leg wound and see what happens. It has a E3, so that's a heat check. Oh, that is such a pain. Shoot it again. Come on. That's a 6, so Scav 3 suffers a leg wound, which is already mathed, which means Scav 3's speed is halved, rounding down, so 2, until that wound is resolved. Good thing that This is station 4. Good thing that the Scaffer 5 has a medkit, which is going to use and remove this wound, remove a charge of the medkit. It is going to... That's an action. It is going to identify the third cache, which is a medkit with how many charges? 2. So that's going to be bam bam, and then opla. As their last action, so it's going to be my filing. Okay. As the last action, it is going to take with Pilfer the these two items, the DL18 parts and the scrap metal that are going to go in the scav pack. I'm going to do that so that at least I see that it's a deck of multiple cards with room for one more. That's going to be their turn, their activation. That's going to be my turn, my activation, apologies. This is a problem. Unless... This might not be a problem. This is actually a gamble, because I could, my idea is to take an action down, get here, like within 1, yes, and then actually get here so that I don't, yeah, he doesn't get necessarily cover. Yeah. Wait. Yes, okay. Use the Mark 17, model 17, sorry. My eyesight personally, Tal's is absolutely awful, but and then take an aim shot at the head of the Scaver boss, which would effectively negate the penalty from up close and the side, because the Scav boss does not have a helmet and he has amazing armor. That is, he has very good armor that I might actually want to nick. Also for this raid, the courier, I'm going to say they are not consciousable enough to be activated unless I use a medkit on them. I do have a medkit. I might actually do that at some point for extra rewards. However, if I miss, then I am staring down the barrel of a scattergun, which is, ooh, I have a loot cache on my face. Actually, I'm going to do something that I almost entirely forgot I would. So that is, yeah, that has to be a movement action, sadly. I'm going to inspect the loot cache. Okay. Ooh, right, because there's a player. TTS player. Jeff? Huh. This is interesting. Did I loot? Hold on. This is actually quite interesting. Game, thank you. I'm going to leave, as my third action, I'm going to leave the, yes, and then it's going to be, okay. That's going to be 5th, 6th. Okay. I'm going to leave the 2 pistols in the cache. I am going to take the extra... where is me? There you go. The extra parts for the DC-15. And that's going to be my 3rd action for this activation. And then as the rats... Scaver 4, do you have anything worth keeping? Oh, you have a Hof DC-15S, which you cannot use. You don't have a gun, because you cannot use rifles. You have a smoke grenade, which is comical. So instead, Mr. Rat is going to just take a salvage action from the junk pile. Which is going to be this deck right here. Actually, let me put it back into its place, because otherwise I'm going to forgore. A piece of scrap metal. That's okay. Junk pile, they're going to be turned into a bag. Please no. And then... Wait, did you eat scaver? Don't eat scavers, it's rude. And then they are going to take another salvage action, which is going to be another card from the salvage deck. Sure. Much better. Which is going to be another scrap metal. And then as their final action, I think they're going to take both. We are going to do it like this to save room. So many units, so little time. Now this backpack is full. And it is back to me. I could take one of the pistols, because I have one accessory slot left, and pistols are small enough that they can be taken as accessories. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to execute my plan. I'm going to gamble, which is probably going to be a problem, but I'm going to hide behind here. Actually, I'm going to go a smidge to the left so that I still see you. Yes. I'm going to wait, how much is this? 4-6. I'm going to say that this is probably still in cover. Do I have anything that helps? Training aim, how to kill Bennett, charge read a pack rifle. No, I forgot to modify the card with return fire. I do have return fire. I wasn't shot though last turn, so it is going to be 2 dice, picking the lowest for 2 actions. Ooh, this could be a problem. That's a 3. That's a miss. No heat though, which is nice. Okay, and that is going to be their final turn. Final activation for this turn, which is going to be that 6 exact. This probably one, which is going to measurable limit. There you go. Take 2 actions to move. It cannot see me because it has to go through the whole wall, so instead it is going to watch out for its master, for its handler, and be within 6 of me from the next turn. Now, this is going to be turn number 2. Turn number 2 sees the arrival of one of these 2 groups. Let's go with odd. It's the Rhodians and Even, it's the Black Stars. Odd, it's the Rhodians. Haha, we get to see how they work. So the Tamer... Now, the Malras, which is a big, silly lizard cat, because everything is a lizard in the Star Wars galaxy, they are going to deploy from here. Actually, no, because they would have to deploy alone. Instead, they're going to deploy here. And I get the first activation. This is going to get even more crazy, because now we have 3 parties, 3 factions in the field, so activations cycle in groups of 3s, not groups of 2s. And let me check if we are okay on runtime. Okay, as it turns out, the runtime is absolutely ungodly, already beyond 40 minutes. So I will see you on the next episode, which is going to be apparently turn 2. Have a good one.